Good morning. We are now on week 3, module 1 about vitamins. So again, our pacing here is for week 1 to 3. So this video will just serve as your review since you already have your readings. Okay, without further ado, this is our targets and objectives. So at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to first, identify what are water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Classify, describe, and enumerate the structure and properties of each vitamins. Observe and record changes on processing and storage of food high in vitamins. Discuss fortification, enrichment, and restoration of vitamins. Analyze how vitamins can be optimized and retained. So the next slide, this is our guide questions. So you have to answer this as you go, or you could basically write this down and then later on after my lecture, you can answer it on your own. So first is what are water soluble vitamins, what are fat soluble, and second is the structure and general properties of each vitamins. Third is the bioavailability, mode of degradation, and methods of analysis. So we have 6 guide questions. Number 4 is how can vitamin retention be optimized? Number 5, differentiate fortification, enrichment, and restoration. 6 is provide examples of appropriate limits and standard quality in food processing, specifically micronutrients. So these are the terminologies that you should know. First is restoration. So restoration means it is the addition to restore original concentration of key nutrients. Second terminology is fortification. This is the addition of nutrients in amounts significant enough to render the food good to superior source of added nutrients. So dito, meron lang addition of nutrients. This may include addition of nutrients na hindi normally associated with the food, or pwede ring addition of nutrients to specific levels above kung ano yung present sa unprocessed na food. Third terminology, enrichment. Addition of specific amounts of selected nutrients in accordance with the standard of identity defined by US FDA, no? So dito naman meron lang specific amounts selected nutrients. So dito mapapansin nyo maraming mga foods, especially yung mga packaged foods na nakalagay, for example, vitamin A enriched or vitamin B enriched. So, lahat ng may mga labels, usually naman dinedeclare nila yon. So, next is nutrification. So, this term is generic lang siya kasi it's intended to encompass any addition of nutrients. So, any addition of nutrients, ang term doon is nutrification. Okay, so let's start. What are vitamins? So, according to Bender, vitamins are a group of compounds that are required in the diet in small amounts for maintenance of normal health and integrity. Let's start with history. So sabi dito, around 20th century, si Hopkins, he conducted several experiments which involves macronutrients and its effect in growth of an animal. So dito, nag-conduct siya ng experiment with sa rat. No, dati naman kasi usually ang ginagamit nila na animal is yung rat or yung mouse, no? Nagbigay siya ng carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. And then, he discovered na hindi pa enough yung growth ng isang animal with just the macronutrients. So he discovered na there was this accessory growth factor na nung nagbigay siya ng milk, mas lumaki yung animal. So he discovered na yung tawag dun sa growth factor na yun was amine. Thus, yung term na vital amine was coined by this guy named Funk. Okay, so yung E sa vitamin, so vital amine, it was dropped after finding out na hindi pala lahat ng accessory growth factors were part ng organic group na amines. So after isolation ng cream and whey sa milk, na-realize nila that yung milk has more than one accessory growth factor, which is vitamin A and vitamin B. So yung vitamin A is lipid soluble, na kita siya sa cream, and then yung vitamin B, which is water soluble, it was found sa whey ng milk. So thus, meron tayong dalawang classification of vitamin, which is water soluble and fat soluble. So hopefully you remember this by your previous classes kung ano yung dalawa. So we have vitamins B and C under water soluble, and under fat soluble we have vitamins A, D, E, and K. So madali lang tandaan kasi dito B and C lang, and then sa fat soluble ADEC yung ating vitamins, A, D, E, K. So let's start with, move on with functions. So vitamins can function in several ways. Pwede silang maging coenzyme. It could be a component in regulation. And of course, they also have other specialized functions. So vitamins are nutritionally essential micronutrients. When we say essential, it means na hindi siya na-produce ng body natin. So you need intake from outside source. Okay, so vitamin functions first as a food constituent. So when we say food constituent, it's being a natural part of a whole. So additional component in food. So naturally part na siya ng food pag constituent. Next is as an essential substance. So when we say essential substance, it is required for the cells to work properly. So, di ba nga, our body is made up of around 37 trillion cells. So, pag yung isang cells sa isang system hindi nag-work, it may affect the body as a whole. So, it is an essential substance, ang vitamins. Next is as components of a system. So, dito naman, meron tayong example in antioxidative defense. So, sa antioxidation, dahil sa free radicals, later on, I'll give you the link sa YouTube kung ano bang nangyayari pag merong free radicals sa katawan natin and ano ang main source ng mga antioxidation, which is vitamin yan. So we have the ascorbic acid, certain carotenoids, and of course, vitamin E. Okay, next is vitamin also functions as a coenzyme and precursor. So we all know that enzymes are there specifically, significantly, it helps in speeding up the rate of reactions within the cell. Yun ang pinakang main function ng enzymes, right? So vitamins, para silang nag-a-attach sila sa enzyme, making it an coenzyme for it to work properly. Next function is as factors. So they're involved also in genetic regulation, katulad ng vitamins A, D, and of course, potentially other vitamins din. And itong last na function that I will be mentioning are other specialized functions. So, katulad nito, mas familiar kayo with this since, for example, ang specialized function ng vitamin A is for vision. So sorry for the typo here. So ascorbate or ascorbic acid is required for some hydroxylation reactions, and vitamin K in carboxylation reactions, no? So, let's talk about sources. So, saan ba makukuha ang vitamins? So, first and foremost, of course, alam naman nating lahat that vitamins could be from a supplements. So, ito yung mga medications nyo or pills. So, for example, stress tab, no? Stress tab is a multivitamin with added iron and also vitamin C. So what else? Other examples of supplements, Centrum, complete, no? So sinasabi complete daw kasi from A to Z. So they also have vitamin and also mineral. We also have USANA, which is an American drug company which produces cell active na vitamins or medication, which is ano sila, parang automatic nag-a-adjust yung vitamins according to what your body needs. Kasi nga hindi naman tayo pare-parehas na same ang weight natin and height. Hindi naman tayo pare-parehas ang bioavailability. So yun. So that's good, no, na maraming supplements tayo specifically for vitamins. Ang isa sa pinakang important which you should intake right now since it's pandemic is vitamin C kasi nga because of its antioxidation properties. So, and also it's good for your immune system. Okay? Next is source ng vitamins is food. Of course, lahat halos ng ating intake ng pagkain is with vitamins and of course minerals. Specifically, it's naturally occurring in plants. Why? Kasi, di ba, alam natin plants, kasama dyan ang fruits and vegetables. So, ang highest with vitamins are both fruit and vegetables. We also have animals, naturally occurring in animals, and other microbial sources. Of course, we also have other fortified foods. So, remember your terminology whenever I say fortification, it means na meron kang added nutrient or vitamin or mineral kasi nawala siya dun sa throughout the processing. So, kaya finortify nila, it's either they went up to the specific level kung ano yung nawala or they added more. So, yun yung fortification, no? So, next source is dietetic and medical foods. So, katulad yan ng mga enteric formulas and intravenous solutions. So, ano ba yung mga yan? Like, if you are familiar with enteric formulas, these are the ones that are given to patients na yung pagkain dito dumadaan or minsan sa may tiyan. You also have intravenous solutions which are yung parang dextrose na dumadaan sa veins natin, no? So, maraming sources ng vitamins. So, itong last naman, I'd like to just clarify na these are just given to those who are in need, no? So, if hindi mo naman kailangan ng intravenous, you can get the source from natural food. So, bakit ka pa mag-enteric formula or intravenous, right? Kung pwede mo naman siya makuha sa ibang source. So, ito din naman sa supplements. Why should you have supplements kung kaya mo namang makuha yung iyong recommended intake through food, right? So, maraming debate about this. Kung kailangan ba talaga ng tao ng supplements or can you just take it naturally? So, yun. So, sa food chemistry, since that's our course right now, which is FST 311, and of course, you as a food technologist, you should know that a vitamin goal in food chemistry is of course to maximize vitamin retention. So even in post-harvest handling, um, we all know, even in food flow, we all know that in every food, we have to maximize the vitamin retention. So, and of course, ang kasama rin nito, always together, itong dalawa, if you want to maximize the vitamin retention, of course, another goal is to minimize the aqueous extraction or yung leaching and other chemical changes. So, ito kasing sa extraction is, itong leaching is part of a physical change ng isang food, no? Specifically sa fruits and vegetables. And ito naman, other chemical changes such as yung sa acidity and basicity, sa pH level, etc. Okay, so we're done with mentioning the functions, and we're also done with the sources ng vitamins. Now we move on to losses. So sabi dito sa taas, potential losses in vitamins may vary depending to its exposure to environment. So tulad nga kanina, ang goal natin is to maximize the retention and minimize the losses. So, ito, depende talaga kung ano yung exposure ng isang food sa environment. So, keynote din, regardless whether vitamins are naturally occurring, no, or added. So, regardless if it's naturally occurring, regardless if its source is fortified, or regardless if it's enriched, or if its source is a supplement, or its source is from medical use. So its potential losses could be by chemical or physical, such as leaching and other separation may occur, no? Okay, so another slide. Medyo napagilid pala dito. So, losses are to some degree are inevitable in the following. When we say inevitable, hindi talaga natin masasabi, no? Hindi nyo mapipigilan na magkaroon ng loss. Depende sa handling ng staff or ng tao. So, for example, we have the losses may occur during manufacturing, no? Maybe because of the environment around the factory, maybe because of the ventilation, etc. So, distribution, ganun din. So, I have a friend na supplier sila ng isang itlog, no? So, supplier sila ng itlog, and then he just found out na yung eggs nila decreased or nagkaroon ng quality loss during distribution kasi masyadong mainit yung kanilang vehicle during transport. So, ayan, no? So, sa distribution, malaking factor siya. Specifically, pag yung transport natin, during transport, is hindi nakukuha yung ventilation na kailangan ng isang food. So, next is during marketing. So, marketing is when we expose it to, for example, groceries or sa palengke, etc. So, next is home storage. So, here, sa home storage naman, this will depend on a time temperature control. Next is a preparation of processed foods. Dito naman pumapasok mostly sa preparation is, for example, during cutting, during cooking, so nagkakaroon ng exposure to heat. Next is post-harvest handling, other distribution of fruits and vegetables, during post-slaughter handling. So dito again, if hindi agad, for example lang, pag hindi agad na i-freeze ang poultry or sa pork, no? it may lead to loss ng vitamins talaga. So we cannot, it's inevitable, sabi nga nila. And dito naman sa distribution of meat products and others. So, according to a source, again, without accurate information regarding the reaction kinetics and thermodynamics of food, it's also difficult to select conditions and methods of food processing, from food processing, storage, handling, to optimize the retention of vitamins. Thus, sabi dito, there is a great need for more thorough characterization of the basic chemistry of vitamin degradation as it occurs in complex food systems. So this is also a great study. This would be a good study for you guys na maybe you can make a paper about, scientific paper about, or a thesis about vitamin retention in food, or maybe mineral retention. However, you have to know the methods of analysis. So maybe you could just have a study on quality of food, like in terms of senses, no? Sensory natin, like for the visual and also for the taste and the smell, etc. Now we talk about bioavailability. So bioavailability, this refers to the degree to which an ingested nutrient undergoes intestinal absorption and metabolic function or utilization within the body. So, ang bioavailability, it is short for biological availability. So, kanina, when we talked about losses, that's just the physical and chemical changes that the food undergo outside the body. So, now, we talk about bioavailability, biological availability. Ito yung how your body reacts with the food. So, intestinal absorption and ingestion yan, no? So here, again, this is the definition of biological availability. So note 1, this also involves both the absorption and utilization of the nutrient as consumed. So once you have consumed the food. Note number 2, this concept does not refer to losses that may occur prior to consumption. So, anything that prior to consumption is hindi siya kasama. So, this is biological availability. Yung kanina is losses. So, we also have factors affecting biological availability. So, for example dito, so medyo nakat yung ating slide. First is the composition of the diet. So, composition of the diet, again, iba-iba nga ang tao. We have different body composition. Ganun din yung composition of the diet. Hindi naman lahat ng tao pare-parehas ang kinakain araw-araw. Diba? So, yun. So, we have influence to ng intestinal transit time, yung viscosity, emulsion characteristics, acidity level, etc. So, another factor affecting availability is the form of vitamin. Excuse me. Okay, let's continue. So, another factor affecting bioavailability is the form of the vitamin. So, depende nga. For example, ang form ng vitamin, pwede siyang in a pill, mas madaling ma-absorb siguro ng katawan once it's in pure form. And other form of vitamin, pwedeng attached siya sa food. So dito, nag-differ siya talaga in rate or extent of absorption. So in active form, metabolic functionality, etc. So next is interactions between a vitamin and components of a diet. So kanina, meron tayong composition of the diet. So kung ano yung mga kinakain mo, etc. Kung ano yung kinokonsume mo. And then we also have the form of the vitamin. So kung ano yung klase ng source mo. And now we have the third factor, which is the interaction ng dalawa between a vitamin and the components of diets. So dito pwede kasi magkaroon ng interference, no? For example lang is whenever you consume alcohol, so pag nag-inom ka talaga ng alak, yung vitamins mo in your body are displaced. So kung, for example, uminom ka ng vitamins, ng full from A to Z, o complete, Centrum Complete, uminom ka. And then, after mga 30 minutes, okay, may nagyaya, nagpunta sa bahay nyo, inuman tayo. So, yon, no? So, madi-display. Sayang lang yung bili mo dun sa vitamins kasi nag-inom ka. Or, it may also be affected whenever you smoke or when your cellular respiration is exposed to an environment na hindi kaaya-aya. So there may be interaction with antioxidation, especially with vitamins that are not stable with oxygen. Okay, so other notes. So we all know that vitamins are absorbed through active transport. So whenever we say active transport, so magkaiba sila ng simple diffusion or simple transport. Kasi sa simple, wala kang vesicle na ginagamit. You don't also need energy, no assistance. However, in vitamins, yung active transport natin, you need a protein carrier. And of course, dito sa active transport, it's a movement of solutes from low concentration to high concentration. So, para ma-push in mo yon or ma-pull out from the concentration, you need energy or ATP. So, yun yung sa vitamins, yun yung way of how it is absorbed in the body. So next is absorption will be impaired depending on vitamins nature and environment. So tulad nga nung sinabi ko kanina, for example is uminom ka ng vitamins and then after ilang minutes nag-inom ka or uminom ka ng alak, so baliwala din kasi madi-displace yung vitamins. Next, both drugs and compounds naturally present in foods may compete with vitamins for absorption. Okay, so dito, for example na lang, yung mga anti-malarial drugs natin and also antidepressants. So, nadi-displace nila yung mga vitamin B, no? Kasi nakikipaglaban yung drugs na yon with any vitamin that you have intake. Next is some compounds present in foods may have anti-vitamin activity. So karamihan ng pagkain have thiaminases. So thiamine, no, if you look into your chart, ang thiamine ba is vitamin 1. So if I'm not mistaken, no, thiamine. So, ayun, no? So, mayroong thiaminases. So, ibig sabihin yung vitamin 1 could also be displaced. Okay, so, ilang slides na lang to, I think. Mga 40. So, nasa kalahati tayo. It's okay kasi, di ba, you can fast forward naman yung the way na magsalita ako. Pwedeng times 2 kung gusto nyo talaga mabilis, no? Okay, so next is variation in vitamin content. So, fruits and vegetables. So, depende sa stage ng maturity niya and also yung site ng growth and climate. So, yan, yung vitamin content, maybe sa tropical countries, mas matataas ang vitamin content compared to fruits that are grown in a climate, cold climate. No? So, we don't know. There are a lot of studies online. You can look and search. So next is agricultural practices and environmental conditions. So ito yung kaninang na-discuss natin. So depende undoubtedly the influence, the content of vitamins sa mga plant-derived fruits, but only few data are available on this subject. So dun sa first natin, mas maraming data about this compared to the second one. So next, ang variation in vitamin content. There is a changes in vitamin concentration. So dito, it's just a small factor but significant when proper procedures are followed during post-harvest handling. So sabi nga nila, there's higher vitamin content to raw foods compared to foods that are exposed in heat, no, after cooking. So yun, no, mas mababa. So imagine if you're really looking into vitamin sources, you just have to intake the raw food compared to foods that already has undergone several processes. Okay, just a quick review. So again, ano nga ulit ang mga soluble in water natin? So I'll give you 5 seconds to answer this. Soluble in water, we only have 2. And then, so soluble in fats, in oils, or fat soluble, we have 4. These are vitamins. Okay, so the answer is, dito sa soluble in water, we have vitamin B, and vitamin C, soluble in fats and oils, vitamin A, D, E, and K. Okay, so this, hindi ko na siya i-word by word na i-discuss sa inyo, this table 1. This is also included in your readings. So, keep in mind na yung binigay kong module sa inyo, it's the one that is detailed, no? Sobrang detalyado na nun, kasama na yung how methods of analysis, degradation ng each vitamin. But in this lecture, I will just be summarizing everything that you need to know, no? Just the basic information. Okay, so for example, dito sa vitamin table 1, we have the fat soluble first, which is vitamin A. Ang other names niya, retinol and beta-carotene. So these are active forms. So sa retinol, it's the one that gives you the pigments in retina, which gives us the black color, no? Or depende kung anong kulay ng mata. So ito yung mga deficiency niya, although I'm not very particular with the deficiency or disease since we are not on clinical nutrition. We're in food chemistry. So this is the one that's important, yung function niya. So dito naman what else ang function ng vitamin A? So dito meron tayong regulation of gene expression and cell differentiation. Beta-carotene is an antioxidant. So next, vitamin D, also called as calciferol. So dito, calci, easy to remember, calci, it's a maintenance ng calcium. So, calciferol, no? Calcium balance, enhances intestinal absorption, and mobilizes bone mineral, regulation of gene expression, and cell differentiation. So, dito kaya nga sinasabi natin na if you go out in the sun, and especially sa mga infant natin, if you go out in the sun, so sabi nakakatulong daw siya sa growth ng infant, specifically sa infant, and also sa atin naman adults, without vitamin D, ang calcium won't be activated, no? So kailangan talaga ng exposure natin to sunlight for the bones to absorb the calcium. So para silang partner. So next is vitamin E, also called as tocopherols or tocotrienols. Tocotrienols. So, ito naman mga to, another antioxidant, especially in cell membranes and roles in cell signaling. So, sinasabi na ang vitamin E daw is a vitamin that's anti-aging. So, bukod sa pagiging antioxidant niya, okay, excuse me. Okay, so, ayun, nandito na tayo sa vitamin K. So, also, ang active form niya ay phylloquinone and menaquinose. So, dito, ang vitamin K acts as coenzyme. So, again, it helps in speeding up the reactions para sa blood clotting and bone matrix. So, if you search ang vitamin K, almost related rin siya with iron kasi iron is in red blood cells, no? And vitamin K is very helpful para sa blood clotting. So, dito nga sa deficiency niya, no? Hemorrhagic disease and impaired blood clotting. Okay, next are mga i-mention ko are water soluble. So, ito yung mga vitamin Bs and also sa vitamin C. So, we have B1, thiamine. So, kanina yung sinabi ko, thiaminases, no? So, ang thiamine is very important in coenzyme, in pyruvate, and 2-oxoglutarate dehydrogenases and transketolase, regulates chlorine channel in nerve conduction. So, remember this, no, sa nerve conduction. So, dito kaya nga sinasabi, di ba, most foods contain thiamine. And karamihan din ng breads, no, especially sa breads, matataas ang vitamin Bs. So, tignan nyo yung kanyang, babalik ko lang, deficiency disease, no? So, etong Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, beriberi, also beriberi, if someone is deficient with vitamin B, yung kanilang mga kamay, no, merong mga nagnginginig siya kasi nagkaroon na ng nerve damage. So, if you know someone na medyo gumaganon na yung kamay, so aside from aging, maybe kulang lang siya sa vitamin Bs. But it's really hard to know kung kaya ba siyang i-reverse, no? So, next is vitamin B2 is riboflavin. So, dito naman, again, it's another coenzyme sa oxidation and reduction. So, dito, if you are deficient in vitamin B2, so, nagkakaroon ka ng parang sugat dun sa mga tabi ng iyong lips, mouth, and also sa tongue. So, more on sa skin siya, makikita yung deficiency. So, ayan, no? So, yung pag meron ditong cracked skin, so maybe you just need riboflavin. So, next is niacin. Ang forms niya are nicotinic acid and nicotinamide. So, another coenzyme. And this one is very important sa biochemistry if you have encountered NAD and NADP. So, important siya sa metabolism, no, ng carbohydrate and also protein, etc. So, next is vitamin B6, pyridoxine, pyridoxal, pyridoxamine. So, ito naman sa transamination. So, ito ay sa protein, also sa amino acids, etc. Okay, next is vitamin B12. Ito ay ang cobalamin natin and also pantothenic acid. So, may dalawa siyang forms, no? Yung sa cobalamin, another coenzyme. Dito, partner sila ng vitamin K and iron. So, if you look at this one, no? Ang kanyang deficiency may lead to pernicious anemia or megaloblastic anemia with degradation of the spinal cord. So, we all know anemia is more on related sa ating red blood cells and white blood cells, right? So, B12, vitamin B12, iron, and vitamin K related to red blood cells. Another B12 is pantothenic acid. So, ito ay another coenzyme natin. So, sa nerve damage din siya. So, next is vitamin H. Vitamin H is not much discussed, no? Very, lang siya. Minimal discussions with vitamin H. So, I'm not sure why most of the sources that I've found, kakaunti lang talaga yung readings about biotin, no? So, biotin, this is important in carboxylation reactions sa gluconeogenesis. So when we say gluconeogenesis, no, just a recap, formation of new glucose, no, making up of new glucose. So neo is new, gluco is short for glucose, genesis is making, parang kumbaga, no, to make. So also in fatty acid synthesis and of course regulation ng sa cell cycle. So dito naman, deficiency ng sa biotin, impaired fat and carbohydrate metabolism, and also dermatitis. So pag nagkaroon ka ng impaired fat and carbohydrate metabolism, there's a higher chance na maging obese, no? Okay, next is ascorbic acid. We all know vitamin C is very important because it's an antioxidant. And also, it enhances absorption of iron. It's a coenzyme, again. And ang deficiency niya is scurvy. So, dito sa scurvy, nagkakaroon ng impaired wound healing. So, matagal yung pag-heal ng wound. Loss of dental cement and subcutaneous hemorrhage. So, ayan, nadagdagan na naman yung sa hemorrhage natin sa blood. No, vitamin C, vitamin B12, vitamin K, and iron. So, yan. So, ito yung NADP. Sorry, excuse me. NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. And NADP stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Okay, now let's talk about stability. So, dito naman, ang keynote, sabi dito, under vitamin stability, a lot of factors are considered. Majority are the physical and chemical changes. So, vitamins stability are under certain conditions. So, depende sa condition where you expose it. So, dito, we're not looking into bioavailability. So again, ang bioavailability is how your body reacts with the nutrients or the vitamins. So ito na ay stability. The stability that we are going to refer to is the one during post-harvest handling. Okay, so stability factors. We have temperature, we have water content, we have the potential hydrogen, pH, or dito yung sa acidity level, alkalinity level, yung pH. Oxygen, light and radiation, time, and so on. So actually, I think marami namang factors when it comes to physical and chemical changes. But these are just the general factors, no? So, itong sa stability factors, ito yung assignment nyo actually. This is your worksheet. So, I'm sure before I upload this, hopefully lahat kayo nakapagsagot na, no? But nakalagay naman sa readings nyo yung answers na. Actually, it's one of the tables in your readings if you haven't browsed through it yet. So, we have here, I asked for the other names ng ating vitamins from B1, B2, B3, B6, B9, B12, and also B5. Tama ba? Let's go back. Pantothenic. Oh, sorry. It's B12 pala, no? Pantothenic acid and also biotin, which is vitamin H. So, kung ano yung nagiging reaction niya under acid, alkaline, under neutral, under light reaction, heat, and air and oxygen. So, I think yung tinutukoy nila with light is radiation, no? And then heat, maybe this is upon increase in temperature. Okay. So, this should be your answer. So, this is also the table. However, medyo ginumble ko lang siya. No? So, ito yung nasa worksheet natin. Tingnan nyo kung napansin nyo, nauna yung sa acid. Dito, yung neutral nandito sa side na to. No? So, upon neutral, so yung S natin, note here that S is stable. Ibig sabihin, there is no important destruction. U is unstable, significant yung destruction niya. And just a caution that these conclusions are oversimplification. So again, oversimplification, no, and may not accurately represent stability under all circumstances. So dito siguro in-expose nila with an environment that is with constant, no, merong constant yung yung environment na in-expose siguro to. So, again, iba-iba, no? Hindi siya accurate na interpretation. However, generalization lang lahat ng to. So, again nga, itong discussion natin, itong lecture, this online lecture is not detailed enough, no? So, that's why you really have to push yourself to read. You really have to push yourself to learn further. So, dito, ang vitamin A natin, under neutral, stable siya. However, pagdating sa acid, in-expose mo siya with pH that is low, from 0 to 7, it becomes unstable. So, ganun din, when you expose it to air or oxygen, unstable siya. With exposure to radiation or light and also increased in temperature, magiging unstable din siya. So, itong maximum cooking loss, I think this is just the percentage. So, upon cooking, yung loss agad ng vitamin A is 40%. And then here, we have ascorbic acid. Dito mapapansin nyo, almost unstable siya sa lahat ng environment except for acid na pH level from 0 to 7, no? 0 to 6.9. So, ang maximum cooking loss niya, automatic 100%. Kasi nga, we all know, unstable siya sa heat. So, imagine, pag we expose it to boiling, no? 100% agad, mawawala na yung vitamin C. That's why, I don't believe doon sa sinasabi na whenever, di ba meron tayong ginagawa na nagbo-boil ng water or binoboil or suba ba yung term na yon whenever you want to drink calamansi juice or yung mismong pure calamansi concentrate. So, di ba nga pag sa calamansi, nilalagay pa siya sa apoy. So, yung mom ko, ginagawa niya yun whenever nagkakaroon ng masakit na lalamunan yung daddy ko. So, nag-aano siya ng calamansi sa apoy. And then, in my mind, sabi ko, unstable naman ang kasi calamansi is high in vitamin C. So, unstable naman yung vitamin C sa heat. What more if you expose it to fire, no? So, parang baliwala din kasi hindi mo rin mahihil, no? Maybe meron lang hagod na feeling. However, I don't recommend na yung mga vitamin C rich foods such as fruits, you expose it to heat kasi baliwala lang, mawawala yung vitamin C. Okay? So, biotin is vitamin H. So, kung mapapansin nyo, stable siya to almost any environment except sa heat. So, if you observe this table, marami ang unstable sa heat, no? Tulad ng vitamin D. So, we have vitamin D here. Unstable siya sa heat. However, ang vitamin K, stable siya. And then from vitamin B6, riboflavin, thiamine, tocopherols, vitamin E, unstable na siya sa heat. So ito din, no, just a note, babalik ako sa vitamin C. If you look mo, karamihan sa kanila ay U. Kaya minsan, if you buy online, a serum or yung nilalagay sa mukha, no? Yung serum para siyang oil. Oil but not thick, not too thick. Yung bottle niya is color black. Usually black yung ginagawa nila kasi pag na-expose sa sun, so hindi masyado mag-absorb yung light sa black na container, no? So, para hindi mawala agad yung vitamins. Okay, so I have here a published journal. So this is just to show you some study. This is a published journal sa Science Direct, no? So this is the link. You can look it up. So this is about vitamin losses, retention during heat treatment, and continual changes expressed by mathematical models. So ito yung mga authors. So ito mostly mga babae yung authors, no? So which is what I like kasi parang dati ang scientists lang are all males and now we have females publishing journals. So I will just go back lang dun sa ating table. So this is a retention during heat treatment, no? So ito sa study na to with this table, makikita natin yung folate. So, yung ascorbic acid natin, 100% maximum cooking loss. Wala na talaga siya. We have the folate, 100% din. And then next to it is thiamine, which is B1. So, upon cooking, mabilis mawala ang thiamine. And what else? Riboflavin. So, vitamin B1 and vitamin B2. Yung dalawa. And also niacin, vitamin B3. Yan. And others, no? So if I'll just try to observe this, ang ating fat soluble ba are stable sa upon cooking. So yung iba naman hindi, no? Okay. Okay, so ito yung just an abstract of the study about vitamin losses. So processing and cooking conditions cause variable losses of vitamins. Losses vary widely according to cooking method. So depende daw sa cooking method and type of food. So again, na-discuss na natin to kanina yung factors, no? Degradation of vitamins depends on specific conditions during culinary process. For example, temperature, presence of oxygen, light, moisture, pH level, and of course, duration of heat treatment. So, duration means kung gaano katagal siya in-expose sa heat. So, the most labile vitamins during culinary processes are retinol. So, sa retinol, so this is vitamin B2. In vegetable boiling, 33% retention. Vitamin C, the most damaging factors are cooking and oxidation. So, kung napansin nyo naman kanina sa table natin, 100% yung loss niya, no? We have folate, more on to leaching into the cooking water, 40% retention. So, when we say leaching, no, when we expose it to heat, nawawala na siya or parang sumasama siya dun sa water. And then, it will be gone because nag-oxidize na siya, etc. And then, we also have thiamine. So, in cooking, retention niya is 20 to 80%. So, again, depende nga sa environment where you expose it, no? Niacin, biotin, and pantothenic acid are quite stable. So, niacin is vitamin B3, biotin is vitamin H, pantothenic acid is vitamin B12. So, quite stable sila, but information on some vitamins, especially vitamins D and K, is incomplete. So percentage losses of some nutrients after cooking treatment were frequently reported. So not continual changes during heat treatment, only modifications at the beginning and after the treatment. Changes of nutrients in food during the culinary process have not yet been sufficiently investigated. A few authors have attempted to summarize the kinetic data, which can be used to describe the which could be used to describe the time temperature effect on nutrients. Okay. So, this is one of the tables na from the study. So, I'll just show you vitamin A and vitamin D. So, vitamin A stability in heat. So, this is average values of for vitamin A and carotene at different temperatures. So, inano nila, no, parang kinuha nila from Pandya and Patel na study. So, yung temperature, so we have 120 degrees Celsius, 180, 200, and 220. So, ito yung IU. So, IU is, ito yung measurement natin for vitamin A. So, kung makikita nyo, the trend here, nung tumaas na yung temperature, bumaba na yung IU niya. So, kung napansin nyo, bumababa, no? So, ganun din dito. And also with dito naman sa carotene, mataas naman dito sa 120 degrees Celsius, bumaba nung na-expose siya sa higher temperature. So, that's how you look on tables. Now, you just look at the trend. So, the more ba na tumataas yung temperature, bumababa din yung aking vitamin A. So, in this case, in most studies, yes, no? Okay, next is vitamin D retention and losses upon different treatments. Excuse me. So, dito, upon different treatments yung tinignan. So, we have vitamin D in cooking, broiling, roasting, braising, baking, and boiling. So, iba-iba yung condition, treatment condition. So, sa beef, in cooking, 35 to 40% yung loss ng ating vitamin D. And so on, no? So, ang mababa dito ay yung sa baking. So, if you look here, sa baking, less than 10% lang yung na-loss with vitamin D3. Ganon din sa boiling ng yolk, no? Less than 10%. Okay? So, just a quick recap, quick review. Ang soluble in water natin are vitamins B and C. Ang soluble in fat or fat soluble are vitamins A, D, E, vitamin A, D, E, and K. These are just a summary. Ang damaged by light mostly is vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and vitamin C, E, and K. So, alam naman natin lahat, vitamin C is very unstable. And damage by heat upon vitamin B1, pag more than 100 degrees Celsius, very unstable na siya. We have vitamin B5. We also have vitamin B9 sa high temperature and of course, vitamin C. So, next, in acidity naman, ang sensitive daw sa acids are yung ating fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamins A, D, E, K, pyridoxine, and folic acid. So, specifically, pinakang sensitive dito is yung vitamin K, no? Okay, ang stable naman sa acids are vitamins B1, B2, B3, which is vitamin B1 nga natin is thiamine, vitamin B2 is riboflavin, vitamin B3 is is niacin. And then we have biotin, which is vitamin H. Okay, sa alkalinity naman, sensitive ang vitamin E. So if we expose to a basic environment, ito yung ang pH level is from 7.1 hanggang 14. So, ang sensitive is vitamin E and ang stable naman ay all other vitamins, no? Okay, so just a quick reminders. So next meeting, we will move on with Module 2, Minerals. So that would be on week 4, which is next week. Let me look at the calendar. So from October 26 to 30, I should be giving you the next module, or if I can't give you the readings, I will be giving you a video presentation or YouTube links for your own self-paced again. And then an activity will be uploaded through Google Classroom. So please be guided accordingly and remember to be a responsible student. I entrust you guys. Bilang again nga, I am really proud to be handling third year students right now, and I'm sure that you will be able to pass all your courses this semester kahit meron tayong pandemic, no? And of course, if you have any questions, you can message me directly through my email. It's here. Or you can message me directly sa Facebook natin or Messenger. Or you can also message me through Google Classroom. I'm not sure if there is an option for you guys to direct message sa Google Classroom, but let me know. Okay? So these are the references that I've used. So meron din tayong books that you can download online through www.pdfdrive.com. And this is the online reference link. So Science Direct, ito yung article na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina. And this is the YouTube link about free radicals, no? Just for you to remember your kung paano nangyayari yung antioxidation properties ng vitamins. So this is the link. So if I could just show you quickly, if it's here. Okay. Hindi ko pa pala ata na-open. Okay, never mind. Okay, so again, if you have questions, no, message nyo lang ako. Unfortunately, this October is a busy week for me due to my certification. But November, I will try my best to continually update you with our modules. And I will be sharing also this slide with you. So that's it for our Module 1, Vitamins. Okay, thank you.